Our next guest spent a year writing love notes to honor his late wife. He took those notes and he put it in a very wonderful book, and he called it the 100 Love Notes Project. Please welcome Hyong. It's nice.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So your wife Catherine, she battled stage 4 cancer, and she was just 39 years young. When you learned of the diagnosis, you said that I read that she said, "I want to have the best year of my life." Not knowing, of course, she could have had several years, not knowing it was going to be the last one, but she wanted to have that best year. What was packed into that year?
Well, it was like a year's worth of vacations. She wanted to be the first to take her kids to a foreign country. So we went to the Bahamas. That's what we could do. Disney cruise. She wanted to be the first to take them to New York City. We did that. She wanted to go to Mammoth Caves in Kentucky for some reason, so that's where we went. She wanted to go take her daughter to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama. We did that. We went wherever she wanted to go to build as many memories as we could with our children.
Wow, what a journey. What a beautiful journey she had.
How long did Catherine ultimately survive?
She had 21 months where she lived with cancer, and it was a very aggressive cancer, and it beat her. We just couldn't find a way to beat it.
Well, you didn't let it beat love, because love stayed ever present in your life, even when she was gone. You wrote love letters to your wife after she passed that you would do at late night hours, because you're busy during the day, you have a busy schedule. Why did you write these notes?
Well, as the 1-year anniversary of her death was coming up, I wanted to do more than just sit there and let it happen to me. And, I know what it's like to live without love, to lose it through no fault of my own. And I wanted to make sure that other people had the opportunity to reconnect with their love before it was too late. And so I wrote the 100 love notes and handed them out to strangers.
But before you get, before you get to that, there's something really interesting about your notes, because they're not just one-sided. When you started writing, did you realize you were writing her voice as well?
I did not know that right away, because I just thought I'd write 100 love notes, and I didn't write letters because letters take too long. So
who has that kind of time? And it was late at night. I got to go to sleep.
So I started writing, and I got through about the first 50. And I read them again, and it's like, well, it feels like there's a call where I would make a call and then she would respond. And so it felt like two voices. So I started rewriting everything and organizing everything as if we were having this dialogue about our 15 years together.
Yeah. Wow. But that must have been sort of therapeutic to sit there, because she was almost channeling herself through you at that point.
It was incredibly helpful in dealing with the grief that I was carrying from her death. So yes, I found it to be incredibly therapeutic. It helped me a lot.
Sure.
So on the first anniversary of her death, you actually went downtown.
Took Charlotte, North Carolina.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, and passed out all these love notes that you had written to her, and she had written to you somehow through this therapy.
I took my 2 kids. We stood up at 10 a.m. downtown Charlotte, and handed them out to strangers. And I just thought it would be like throwing it into the wind. Just give it to strangers and let them carry it wherever they want.
These are so personal, Hyong. I mean, they're so close to you. Like, didn't you fear like you were giving up so much of what was so dear to you that you just took a stranger?
I took photographs of everything, so I have.
Oh, you have? Okay.
But I wanted at least 100 people to have the opportunity to take a minute and just stop what they're doing and say, I do have love in my life, and I want to express it. I want to demonstrate it by writing it.
Something magical happened. Tell us what happened.
It was not what I intended, but the story went all over the country, and then within 48 hours, it went around the world. And, people were writing love notes in foreign languages that I couldn't even figure out what languages they were. And it went, every continent. I even had a friend who was in Antarctica at the time, took a photo with a penguin to prove to me that love had reached Antarctica.
So, wow.
What did the people think on the street when you were just handing them love notes?
Anytime somebody stops you on the street, do you think, I don't want any part of that. I don't know what's going on. But when an 11-year-old girl, my daughter, comes up to you with a love note, you're going to take it.
Yeah.
And so she ended up doing a lot of the handing out. She handed out probably 70 of them. And she really enjoyed it. She handed them out to, local government employees, sanitation workers. I saw her give a love note to a homeless person, and and anyone in between. And so,
what was the feedback? When somebody actually opens up, did you watch them read it, or did you?
No, they took it with them. One woman, I gave it to her, and she ran back 3 blocks to find me, and she was crying in tears, and whatever note she had gotten was so moving to her, she needed to come tell me and tell my children. And she gave me a hug, she cried on my shoulder. It was very powerful.
Can you
How are your kids doing today?
They miss their mother. They want life back like it was 4 years ago. They want their mom back.
Sure.
It's not, they also know that it's not possible, so we are doing what we can to live like Catherine lived.
How old were they when she passed?
Alex, the boy, would have been 9. Well, no, he would have been 7. Anna would have been 9.
Right. So you took, obviously, these photos of the notes that you wrote late at night. I imagine I can just see you there with the dim light in your room and probably through the tears. And you put them in a book. And you then from there, but it wasn't just like, here they are. You went out and found people to help illustrate?
Well, so it didn't seem like it was enough just to print them in a book and then, put it out. Mm-hmm. So I asked some local artists, local to Charlotte, 17 of them, and trying to organize 17 artists is not something I want to ever do again. But it said, here are my words. Can you give life to them? And so they drew these wonderful illustrations in the book, and all of them are original to the book.
Can you give us a sample reading for those who at home are still trying to understand the two-way conversation and dialogue you had?
Yeah, so these 100 love notes cover the 15 years that we were together. And I'm going to read you one that is from the night that, like you, Billy, this may be your engagement episode. This is from the night that we got engaged. And I will say this is the second time that I proposed to her, because the first time was over the phone and she didn't appreciate it.
At least you didn't text it to her.
Yeah.
No, this was before before texting.
Yeah.
So it goes, all the love notes read dearest beloved or beloved to dearest. And I'm beloved and
You're
she's
beloved.
dearest. So it reads, dearest, by the tidal basin, late Friday night, I asked you to marry me. Certain, yet still afraid you might say no. Beloved. And then she replies, beloved, yes, it's yes. From the beginning, it was always you, dearest.
So I have a couple, and Debbie has one to read, and then you have one. If Debbie can't, I'll read it for you. This is when you actually first met, and you say, dearest, hi, I'm not asking much, only a partner for a bike ride, a buddy, so I'm not alone. Beloved. Her reply, beloved, I'm not interested in dating, but I am new in D.C., okay, I'll go, but will there be food? Dearest. Then you write.
Then this is, I imagine when she got the diagnosis and she started, you realized something was wrong. It says, beloved, I can't catch my breath. Help me up the stairs. You are my support, dearest. And then you write back, dearest, I'm not going to work today. I'm with you as we figure this out. Which hospital do you want to go to, beloved?
And then at the end, it happened very quicker than any of us imagined. And so we took her to hospice. And then that night, they called me and asked me to come back because she wasn't stabilizing. And so from about 1:30 in the morning to about 5:30 in the morning, I spent the entire night just talking to her. And so I wrote, dearest, your hand in mine, I'm here with you until the end. Hear my voice. I will never let go, beloved. And she's not in a position to reply, but I imagine what that reply would be if she could reply. And it reads, beloved, this is where I leave you. There are no more tomorrows for us. It is the heartbreak of a lifetime, dearest.
Did Catherine leave you with a message for life, for you to continue?
Well, I would say that she did. And she left a message by how she lived the last 21 months of her life. And it's actually in the book, and it's one of the love notes, and the way in the back, you will actually see it written, I think it's way in the back. And it says, live fiercely, love completely. And that's how she lived the last days of her life. And that is how we live, as best as we can with the children, to live as best as we can.
And you said her greatest fear was to?
She didn't want to be forgotten.
Right.
She died young. She was 41, 39 when she was diagnosed. She knew that there was more life for me, for the kids, and she didn't want to be forgotten. And I'm really happy with this book.
This goes a long way to making sure that that never
Yeah,
happens. I got to
yeah.
tell you, we've all seen a lot in our lives. We've all been around really interesting and dynamic people, and this is like one of the most powerful and unique things that I've ever seen anyone ever do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like incredibly
It's
powerful,
Beautiful.
beautiful. It's amazing.
And I want to just to turn this and bring it home. I understand there's a middle school story that actually hits very close to us.
There is. What I learned as I was, tweeting and sharing all this on social media on the way out west to do this show, a friend of Catherine's and a friend of mine, I adopted all of her Facebook friends, so they see how we're doing as a family, and said to me, "Oh, you're doing the Home and Family show. Did you know that Catherine went to Tuckahoe Middle School?"
What?
Yes,
That's where I went to school.
she was a grade ahead of you.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Wow, did we know each other?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna go get my yearbook. I think I know her.
But yeah, she went to the same middle school. Then she ended up going to Douglas Freeman High School.
And I went to Tucker, the rival
Yeah.
school. We probably played sports against each other.
Already picking a fight.
Oh, we played sports against each other for sure.
That is amazing.
You have
wonderful
such a beautiful love story, and what a wonderful way to honor your late wife and to keep her memory alive and make sure that she's alive through you and your children. That's so beautiful.
How do we get this? It's Valentine's week. This
I
would be such a
know.
great gift for,
Well, it's everywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. For some reason, Target's carrying it, so yay, Target.
Well, later on, we're going to share the love notes that our family has pulled together, and we'll share those with you as well.
goodness.
You all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
wow.
All right, we're going to come back.
Ken,
I'm sorry,
pull it
Ken, but
together,
you're going
honey.
to have to tie this up.
I'll be able to.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be right back.